Hi, thank you all for coming. So we're going to introduce our panelists for today, and we have a two-time Oscar winner, Mahershala Ali, and award-winning artist, Baloji, who directed Omen. So, you've seen the movie, Mahershala, and how did you like the movie?
I absolutely love the movie. I love the movie, and one of the things that I found myself processing afterwards, that I kind of wanted to ask you about, in if I'm not still,
of course.
is in terms of like being the filmmaker and experiencing the film now as a viewer.
Yeah.
What do you find yourself prioritizing in the story as a takeaway? Because you touch on so many different things. There's so many different elements in terms of relationship with children and their parents, to being a father, or the potential of being a father, feelings of abandonment or being cut off from one's family, the lack of acceptance, or people essentially sort of living closeted lives in some ways, or being out selectively. Paco's story, things that he's navigating. I mean, I could list so many things that I found myself processing, not feeling like the story was about too many things by any stretch. Like I clearly feel like that there was a clear story arc there, but what do you find yourself, I asked really long-winded question, what do you find yourself processing after you're done watching this film? Without saying what's the moral of the story, but like what do you find yourself prioritizing? What do you find yourself thinking about, and what maybe you want your audience to think about?
I will say two things. I would say that the first thing for me, the most important thing is reconciliation. You know that you say that people in the same family say, "Forgive me," and "I forgive you," and this has been something that was in the genesis of the project, because I remember I lost my dad, and there was these criers arriving in the living room, and they cry so bad, and I just couldn't help it to see like a fountain of tears around them, and feeling guilty, just like Coffee, being like, "Oh, dude, it's the moment you mourn your dad, and instead you're seeing a movie scene." And then I was like,
can you elaborate on that too, without losing your point about the mourners at some point for the audience?
Yeah, so the mourners, what we do in our culture is that we ask a group of women to be there with us and to cry, and their tears has like a catharsis effect.
Yeah.
Catharsis effect.
Yeah.
Sorry. Cathartic effect. And because they will always cry louder than you, they will always be more passionate, but the fact that they are so vivid, you can just let it go. And we are in a lot of African family, we just saw, how you say this, we're not passionate, we're very distant, we don't hug, we don't kiss, we just say really reserved. So it was beautiful to experience that. And when they started crying, I was seeing that scene for the movie. And I went back home and I said, maybe I'm going to start the mourning of my dad by writing the script. And it's my reconciliation process with him. So there was this aspect. And the other aspect was how the patriarchal society make a mom, a woman, forget who she is what's a value, what's a word, and that's the beauty of Mama Mujira, because for me it's a feminist film. She's the main character of this film. She's just, but this misogynical structure above her tell her you cannot choose. We choose for you. What is good, what is not. Your son is like this, your daughter is like this. This is the life you deserve. When your husband passed, this is real tradition. Everything you own goes to the family of the dad. And I was like, this is so wrong. And I wanted to, it's we often say that racism is a white problem. I think feminism is a male problem. We have to fix it. We have to engage ourselves to find solutions. I'll say. But it's a complex question to give you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm curious because you mentioned writing and what inspired writing the story. Your father's passing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, talk a little bit about the jump you made from, and I don't want to make it too narrow because I'm sure you got lots of stats, but in terms of moving from the music world to not only writing a film, but directing it. What gave you the confidence, or what was that little voice telling you that was guiding you along to write this story? And how was the process in actually getting it on its feet and getting it made? Like how long did that take from?
Honestly, every person that read my script were like, this is, how you say, the opposite of digest? How you say? It's too much information.
Okay.
Because I wrote the script like I figure out each scene, how to structure the scene, how, like, for example, when Kofi goes to his mom's house and ring at the door, in the script, I describe how was the bell, stuff like that. So everything was really detailed. Over descriptive, extremely descriptive. So people lost the story because it were too much detail. But it was for me a way to, because I'm coming from graffiti, from dance, from hip hop, and then I worked a lot in fashion and set design. So I put everything that I know in these disciplines at the service of the narrative, because for me the story was the first thing. And what is beautiful with music is that at the end of the day, it's an Adele song or a rap song. It doesn't matter. It's all about telling a story. And the story prevailed everything. And my strength was that I had knowledge in all these other departments, like the costumes department, and I had a clear idea where to go. And same for the art department. I knew the location, I knew how to structure, and because it's a 1.5 million film, so it's very limited budget. So and we shot in 23 days, so we had to be extremely prepared. Like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna shoot. And if it doesn't work, we have to find a way to make it work, because otherwise we don't have a story.
So you helped with costumes and you essentially handled the music also. How did, talk a little bit about that and how that gave you some sort of connection to each of these characters.
Yeah, so the moment I finished the script and we start the funding process in Europe, I was like, maybe I should do like few songs for each character.
I'm sorry, everyone. We have a 6:30 booking. We need to cut this short.
That was a good timing. That was a good timing.
Oh, okay.
That was good.
All right, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to go fast. Yeah.
Oh, no, go
Tell
ahead.
me. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask you also about your future project. You have one that you're working on with New Orleans as the kind of setting, and I wanted to know if you could discuss like your influences in music in that regard, especially since both of you have a lot of music interests in common.
Yeah, music is very centered. Yeah, I think he made a great appearances. This guy.
They'll be all right. Answer your question.
It's
Answer
okay.
your question, but do your thing.
Shit, now I forgot. With the music.
She asked about your project that you're doing in New Orleans. And
Yeah, it's that's a project I will tell him about.
I'm starring in that.
Okay. Nice.
That would
Joke,
be the idea.
joke.
No.
Nice,
That
nice.
would be the idea. But what I thought very interesting by going to New Orleans for me was like in Congo we use fanfare like second line for everything, for funeral, for wedding, for event. To just there is a horn section everywhere. But people just imagine that it's the New Orleans culture. Like they say, this is how they do in Louisiana.
Right.
And then going to Louisiana, to New Orleans, I found out that they start every ceremony, every marching at the Congo Square. And the whole...
Hi, I'm sorry, we need everybody out of the room. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We can talk outside.
Wow.
Sorry, the booking. Well,
Me
the booking
neither.
starts at 6:30.
This is totally wrong. Wow. Okay. It made me lose my focus. I was like, this.
I'm sorry. Take your mic.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, this is like marching band energy.
Can I be succinct and commend both of you for your productivity? Really, I saw you before it was well known in the Green Book.
Oh, thank you.
And no, really, and then you're so articulate in the way you express yourself. That's his accent, which means you speak another language for me.
Yeah, yes.
But yet,